Now, the world's harshest law penalizing the production, use or sale of plastic bags has gone into force in Kenya. From today, violators could pay a fine of up to the equivalent of $40,000 or be jailed up to 4 years. And while producers previously went to court and scuttled it, some Kenyans, including farmers, are bent on seeing an end to the harm that the bags cause. And Soy reports from Nairobi.
Growing mounds of rubbish at a neighborhood in Kajiado, south of Nairobi. It's a common sight across Kenya's rapidly expanding urban centers. Even cattle here have come to love browsing through the heaps of garbage, looking for kitchen leftovers, which they consume along with plastic bags used to dispose them.
With the time, those paper bags tie around inside the stomach, and then finally, you find a cow unable to walk or unwell, and the moment we realize that, because the health of the cow looks okay, but now sometimes the cow cannot stand, cannot function well, and then we realize it is the paper bags, and then we just take the cow to the market.
A report by the United Nations Environment Programme found that cattle slaughtered in Nairobi's abattoirs had huge amounts of polythene bags in their guts, raising fears of plastic contamination in food. Now, the government says it's determined to implement the ban to the letter. Even visitors coming into the country will be affected.
I cannot guarantee that on the 1st of September, we will be able to confiscate bags at all of the airports and ports of entry, the way Rwanda has been able to do. But that is the direction in which we are moving, which is to say that to all visitors coming to Kenya, please do not bring your plastic carrier bags.
Consumers have been busy looking for alternative carriers.
I think the ban is good because, first of all, you're able to keep the environment clean. At least when someone can visit our cities, we'll be very happy. The city is clean.
I'm so excited about it because finally our environment will be clean, free of plastics. And personally, I've always been feeling like plastics are choking us. I've bought 3 baskets, one for supermarket shopping, one for fruit shopping, and one for my husband.
The plastic bag ban is in many ways taking people back to the old ways. Like these hand-woven traditional baskets were very common earlier on, but then were replaced by polythene bags. But now they're making a comeback. So in a way, one industry has been killed, but another one revived.
Back in Kajiado, Nancy hopes that she too will now keep her tradition of cattle rearing alive and grow her herd. With time, she hopes the environment around her will become cleaner and the health of her livestock improve, as will hers. And so, BBC News, Nairobi.
Let's stay with that story and speak now to Eric Solheim, who's in Nairobi. He's the head of United Nations Environment Programme. Thank you very much for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about what exactly this ban means and how it will be implemented? If you're walking on the streets of Nairobi tomorrow with a plastic bag, will you be arrested?
You will for sure be arrested if you turn it into the street. This is fantastic news. A major nation of 50 million people taking very, very strict action on plastic bags. I mean, we need plastic. We need it for moon rockets or for solar panels or for information technology. But for sure, we do not need one-use plastic in the beautiful national parks of Kenya, nor at the fantastic beaches, nor in the daily life for people in Nairobi.
But in terms of implementation, how realistic is it going to be? We've seen other countries do this, Rwanda, for instance, but they're still grappling with people smuggling in plastic bags. And in cases where there are no alternatives, garbage bags, for instance, the local papers reported that there's been some kind of change to say that actually it's okay for garbage bags because there's no alternative. Is this a realistic solution?
Absolutely. I mean, there's any number of alternatives. Everyone knows them. Rwanda's capital, Kigali, is probably the cleanest city in Africa. It's indeed one of the cleanest cities in the world. And that is because of political leadership that decided to phase out plastic. Let's be inspired by Kenya. This is a major health issue. Plastic bags are breeding ground for dengue fever or for mosquitoes giving us malaria. And of course, I mean, Kenya being so dependent on tourism, how many people want to come to a beach which is full of plastic, or indeed to see lions or elephants in an environment surrounded by plastics.
Well, not everyone seems to be as ecstatic. The Kenya Manufacturers Association said this would cost about 60,000 jobs and clothes manufacturers, about 176 of them. Is that a concern at all?
I'm indeed sure there will be more, not less, jobs for this. I mean, whenever in the past we handle an environmental issue, we were told that it will create less jobs. The reality is that handling environment nearly always create more jobs, greener and better jobs. So let's not be worried with that at all. I mean, the Kenyans are smart people. They will produce alternatives. And the plastic industry, by the way, globally need to change. They can produce plastic which is recyclable or which is degradable in nature, or they can produce alternatives made of whatever it may be, made of sugarcane or made of cassava. There is any number of alternatives. Just ask them to use their brain.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us from Nairobi. Eric Solheim, he's the head of the United Nations Environment Programme. This is Focus on Africa from BBC World News with me, Nancy Kachingira.